Like Coach Satterfield talked about, as far as like having to go out in that short amount of time and identify the right people that we want to bring in here and meeting their families and doing as much homework as we can in that short amount of time. But we're excited with what we got, the character of the kids that we have brought in here, a lot of great kids, great families. And so you always hear Coach talking about the culture that we have here. So we're not just going to go out and try to fill a spot. We got to make sure that there's a good fit there. And we're excited about that with these kids.
Offensive line was clearly a key for you guys. Like what you found there?
Yeah, I do. We value athleticism a lot with what we ask those guys to do. And you can't have enough guys that can snap the football. Garrett Bradbury, who I coached at NC State, he wasn't a center until I got there, and that's when we kind of made the move with him over to offensive line. And then the second year I was with him, that's when we moved over to center. Extremely athletic. Played D-line, was a tight end, and this past year he's the best center in the country. And so we want that type of, to find those guys, to identify those guys, because you can't have enough of those guys that can snap the ball. What we ask that center to do is very, very important. They got to be extremely smart and intelligent, know our offense, but at the same time, they got to be very athletic.
What makes you think Jackson Gregory can do that, and then how did you find him, given that he's so unrated, you know, lowly rated?
Yeah. Well, when you watch his film, the kid loves football. I mean, he loves it. He is a true fan of it with offensive line play. And I played with LaCharles Bentley in New Orleans, and LaCharles runs this unbelievable outfit that trains offensive linemen out in Arizona, O-line performance. And this kid has studied him and has went to his seminars, and just his connection with, you just tell how the kid's just so hungry and there's just such a thirst there for it. And, you know, and once I watched this film, I mean, you could just see that this kid loves football, man. And he was very under-recruited, I believe. He was 5'11", 230 his junior year, and all the camps that he went to when a lot of these decisions are being made. And obviously he shot up to where he's right at 6'2" right now, 271 pounds, a lean 271, and he can move, and he's got that right demeanor about him. So I'm excited about that kid, really excited about it. And so just seeing him and knowing him, but you know, it's been really fun to recruit him and get to know him a lot better.
And then finding TJ McCoy to maybe help you more immediately. How'd you find him, and what do you think about his play?
Yeah, well, with the whole the transfer portal, you know, we're watching that daily and monitoring it because that thing keeps adding names, and you don't know when they're being added. And so when you saw that, I knew TJ's story because he was at NC State before he transferred to Florida. And so once he entered the transfer portal, he played with a lot of the guys that I had coached at NC State. And so just getting to know him and just the type of kid he is, his family, like Louisville's going to love him and his family here. And just what he's going to do with the community, and just not only being a football player, but the outreach that he's going to do within the community and what he brings. But he's a smart player. He can move. He's got a lot of experience at that position. And so we're excited about him getting here as well.
For you coming here within the ACC and probably had some knowledge of Louisville within to be here now, what have you learned that maybe surprised you or you weren't expecting within that?
As far as like with the team that we currently are, just being here at
being here in Louisville general.
I'll tell you one thing. Louisville backs the city, backs the university here. I'm really impressed. My wife, you know, through the process of us buying a house and trying to get settled here with kids, so many people that have tried to reach out to try to help us with that, and just, you know, for support. And so the support that we get, and like last week we went to the basketball game. I mean, it's amazing to see the type of fan support that we get here. You know, the the population here being what it is, but how much of it comes out and supports the U of L, I mean, it's pretty impressive. I'm excited about that, really excited about
I've always thought that Louisville and Raleigh were similar in some ways,
Yes.
but yet, and I think Louisville's much more united. And you probably got Carolina, you got everybody
Yep.
in Raleigh and Louisville.
Yep.
It's maybe Kentucky, but Louisville too.
Yep. And so, and it's fun, but like, you know, in Raleigh, you had the 3 schools there, and then you always saw different fans and everything. And here, obviously, it's us and Kentucky and learning all that right now. But tell you what, I'm excited though, just the reception that we've gotten here, and just the people and the outpour, like just, you know, letters from former players, the text messages, the DMs we get through Twitter. I mean, it's been really, really nice and welcoming, and it's been good. It's been good for our families, and we're excited to be here.
They're all just trying to get in line for chocolate chip cookies, you know.
Well, I tell you, I don't blame them.
Ian Pfeiffer, you know, it's a great transfer. You don't normally see offensive linemen going to tight end. It's usually the other way around. What do you guys like about him where he can become a tight end?
Well, obviously, he doesn't mind the blocking aspect of it, and I think that's a big part of it. That's what we asked that Y to do, the Y being that tight end on the line of scrimmage. And so he has a lot of game experience in the SEC at guard playing on the offensive line in the trenches. And so knowing that he's got the mindset and the ability to do that, that says a lot about his makeup, that he's willing to do that and can do it. And so that's big for us when we were looking at that.
You all held on to Zach Williamson from the previous staff's commitment. When you turned on the tape and you looked at him, what made you like him?
He's a big kid, but he doesn't look like it. Like, he's lean, he's athletic, he can move really well. And so seeing him and being up here with some of these, with the early enrollees, I think it's been very pleasant to see how well he's kind of just really pick up on things really well and doing a good job. And so just seeing him, because he's got that size, I mean, he's a 6'6" kid with good length. He'll be a guy that can play on the outside for us. And he's got that right temperament, that right demeanor that you saw on film. And then to get that, to come here now and to keep that, and I'm excited about getting to work with him. That's the fun part now. We now can turn that page and transition, and now to finally get to start working with our kids here now.
Okay.